Thanks for stopping by, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now, today's episode is going to be a bit different. We're going to be having a discussion episode talking about tanks and their role in survival. Now, with survival supposedly right around the corner, I've had a number of people ask me what role I think tanks might play in survival, if they're going to be useful or not, if they're going to be reasonable. And a lot of this comes down to what is in survival. So based on what we've seen so far, things like the tote bots, the tape bots, and the hay bots, things like that, honestly I think a wyvern or a seraph would be complete overkill. Something with that much firepower, taking out infantry style troops wouldn't be all too useful. However, if we do see something bigger in the game later on, say a combine harvester tote bot, those can get pretty big. If you've ever seen one in real life, they can get close to 2 stories, if not taller. And knowing that thing might be wandering around the world would give me enough reason to pack some heavy firepower, whether that be a full-blown MBT or just a vehicle with a big gun. But I also see use if multiplayer becomes a big thing and if we can see servers. I've seen in other games like Ark and Rust and Space Engineers where players create factions and groups that store up a significant stock of weaponry and heavy firepower to either defend their own bases or to raid others. And in that same sense, I could see someone building a tank to raid an enemy base, or even say building an artillery gun to shell an enemy into submission, or any other like variant of that, attacking an enemy, defending from an attack. And I think that'd be really cool to be able to use the firepower we have in a use, especially if we get big like server side multiplayer. Now, it's not just MBTs which I could see a use for in survival. I mostly see a use for the smaller vehicles, such as the APCs, kind of the multi-role vehicles, and some of the light gun carriages and light armored cars. With some of the things we've been shown so far, like the warehouses and like the refineries and things like that, I could easily see rolling up in a multi-purpose vehicle or a light gun carriage and pilfering the place with that as my main vehicle. Say you roll up to a place, take out a couple bad guys, get some loot, and if you need it, if you encounter, say, a horde or a large group of enemies coming at you, you could still pack a decent amount of firepower even in a small package. Something like a grenade launcher. 2 spud guns use the machine gun that you can launch a grenade, like all my tanks have. That could be really useful. Or even something like a light 6 power cannon. I've experimented with both these prototypes and have come out with some pretty decent items. They both work as a general purpose survival vehicle, but they still pack enough power to take on hordes of enemies if it came down to it. And right now we don't know how strong some of the enemies are going to be, how tanky they are, how many spud gun hits they can take. But something like a machine gun can hopefully take out most of the light enemies. But if you need to take out a large number, say a horde, or we do see larger enemies in the future, I could definitely see a lot of vehicles packing some sort of cannonized firepower, both as a defensive system to protect, say, your base or protect the vehicle itself, but also as an offensive system to raid the higher value areas. Like a lot of these large warehouses, I expect to be decently defended. So if I can expect to get a higher reward by going deeper into the warehouse, I think it could be worth building a dedicated raiding vehicle or a dedicated tank vehicle. Or with the idea I proposed earlier, like the harvester, what if you got a large amount of resources from him? Would it be worth building a dedicated tank to hunt them? To actually hunt them down, find them for their resources? So honestly, yes, I do see a use for tanks and APCs and gun carriages in some fashion, but a lot of it comes down to what the developers eventually add to survival. So these are just some of my concepts, some of my ideas, and some talking points I just wanted to say. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little episode, found it entertaining. And if you did, please leave a like. If you have suggestions, leave them in the comments down below. Enjoy the channel, enjoy what I'm doing. Please subscribe, it helps out a lot. And right now, shares help the channel the most. So if you do want to help the channel, please share this episode with a friend. Thanks for stopping by, thanks for sticking around, and until next time, peace.